Never on lumber. Yeah, the cheese on my bumper. Yeah, that's the girl right there, little boy right here. We call it Lusanda. Bad scooping now. Para frito tuli a la bamba. Yeah, they see me, they snooze it. I keep getting high. I call that a slumber. Yeah, we on breathe. He don't dream alive. Get it till it die. Wanna live my life. Shawty ride the bar. Never switch sides. With no keep trying to ride.
The business behind music. Sanbonani Kutmolweni, I'm the one named Tulz Madala, and this is Hack Season 2. If you're a musician or a person trying to make it in the music game, trust me, this is a conversation you need to hear. I'm joined by some of the best people to ever do it. Oh, am I wrong?
No, you're not. But I am Mbali Zuma, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi guys, my name is Radebe, and thanks for having me.
Hi guys, my name is Lutendo, Kungoane. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I love the fact that you say Lutendo, right? A lot of people out there would immediately say Injayamu slick, right?
What is?
It's what it is, right? As a person who is within the industry, already you separating that is kind of a yo. For real.
No cap.
So how often do you feel like you gotta do that, brother?
Every day, Monday to Friday. Oh, wow. Actually, Monday to Sunday, if I'm really being honest, because I really like manage myself and other people and like see like what should happen for the hip hop industry as a whole. Like I have long conversations with Mash Beats and bring shit, like how we're gonna like unite the game. So it's like, yes, you should be an artist, but as well, I have to be written. Because even when I'm talking to like people, I'm like, okay, cool, you're gonna drop, but what's your plan? Okay, you wanna drop this Friday? Okay, what? Yeah, but yeah, well.
Yeah.
And for you, what kind of advice would you give someone who is trying to make it within the music industry, beyond, you know, trying to be umuntu who's famous? Because fame is a part of it, right? What advice would you give umuntu just trying to create and live? Because I'm getting a sense of what upila within the industry is important as well from you, right?
So before going into the industry or being within the industry, I think you need to remember your brand, what your brand is, and sticking to your brand, because that is highly important. If you're going to get into the industry, let's just say you jump into hip hop, and then next week piano's is cool, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna jump into piano. So if you're jumping into hip hop, what is your brand? What brand, like for Hennessy, you want to sign with Hennessy? This is what you want to align yourself with, so forth and so on. So to establish your brand from the get-go is quite important, is what I think.
Establishing a brand, okay. Why do I need to establish a brand as a person, as a musician? Like, is it like a strategy?
I mean, I think it anchors you, right? Just to echo her sentiments about knowing and kind of tying them together. The brand part is important because it anchors you. It actually helps you figure out the strategy before you get to it. It's all good and well for us to sit and strategize because all strategists ever need is a strategy, right? With musicians, it's completely different. So you need to have an anchor to understand that, okay, this is the base of who I am as an artist, then we can move forward because we can go in circles. We can literally write multiple plans, but if you're not anchored in the fact that this is who I am and this is what I want to pursue, then we're not really going to get to the crux of it. Then it's going to be awkward when results aren't met, but we don't even know what success looks like because you haven't anchored us and told us like where are we supposed to be going.
There seems to be like a detachment between the musicians, if you will, or like the artists. Like you get your MT, for example, super talented, but then you have corporates or the business making most of those kind of people. So that separation, it creates what.
Okay, cool. So I think with anything, let's say, for instance, I don't want to talk about your favorite cold drink, right?
Okay.
It's a brand. It has packaging. There's a strategy towards it. There's a target market towards it. There's people they sell that to. There's locations they put that in. So you got to look at yourself as a brand as well. You know what I mean? Before, like she's saying, and also you got to know who you are. because who you are and your brand, they align. But they don't have to if you're just here for entertainment. Yeah. If you're just here to be like a doja, you know what I mean? They don't have to align. You can do.
So why do you say
you can
doja?
do something.
Why doja? Why do you use that as an example?
I don't think she is who she's portraying on like online. That's just for show.
Well, recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think she's like that. I think she's maybe probably like a cool person, but she knows how to sell. She knows exactly how to get you talking.
Yeah.
She knows exactly how to get you to consume her product.
Yeah, personas aren't a foreign thing in entertainment industry in general. So this might be a particular persona she's taking on for this maybe rollout of the album or project that might be coming. And that's fine. That's not a foreign thing at all. But I agree, or maybe it's speculative. We don't know Doja like that, but it is safe to assume that that's not who she is. This is just what I'm taking on for this project because it's going to introduce the tone or the direction of the project.
We're trying to go.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Doja Cat because she's South African, and South Africa right now seems to be getting a lot of attention, more especially musically. Amapiano is killing it.
Yeah,
I see your face having a reaction like, what is that about? What are you thinking?
No, I was just going back to the Doja thing where Minnie said we actually don't know her like that because her fans are just like, this is who Doja has always been.
Yeah.
This is what we've always like gotten from Doja. But from people outside, she gave us a different brand, and now it's a bit confusing. And it kind of takes, I don't want to say it takes away from your record sales, but if I'm confused by your outside brand, I don't want to listen or follow anything else that you're putting out because I'm confused right now. So that's just my input, yeah.
So I'm getting a sense that if you
Okay.
say it, bro, say
I
it.
just want to add on.
Dala.
So it's like people who, so-called haters, or people who don't like your music, as long as they stream your song once, you've won.
That's true.
So whether or not you like her or you don't like her, you're gonna bump it. I bumped it. I don't bump Doja a lot. You know what I mean? But I bumped just to hear like, what are you on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to be curious and just to find out what are you on, it's clickbait. It's very easy. So there's no such thing as bad publicity in my eyes.
Yeah.
So would you say we're
Because
consuming...
you spoke about MT and brands as well, and I'm like, yo, it would be a mistake for a brand not to want to endorse them. Where the show at Zone 6, we thought maybe, but yo, respect. So it's like, yo, this man still has that pull. So if you would sleep on that as a brand, that's your problem. You know what I mean? It's debatable.
So what I'm trying to get is if I'm with it, like, as a person, right? I'm within the music industry, but I'm not a musician, right? I don't make music. But the one thing I suffer with all the time is young aspiring artists who are good at it, who come at me and be like, yo, put my song on, play it, right? But most of the time they don't do research or don't know the actual factual facts that are important to know to actually do something. I don't know if
I mean, I think it's like anything. It's always the lack of information. Maybe they don't have, resources or accessibility to resources to be able to, and a resource could even be a conversation with people that are sitting here. It doesn't have to be something that you have to pay for or like anything. It could be something as simple as, speaking to somebody that would be able to lead you in the right direction. So they haven't done the research probably because they don't know where to start, but without understanding that nobody ever really does. You kind of just have to maneuver it, ask as many questions as you can.
As possible,
they're doing it because they think that's the best practice, or you just kind of, I guess, look at the people in front of you. And they also might not have done the research, or they're probably a little bit behind on, this is the correct way to do things, or rather the better way to position yourself a little bit better. Obviously, it's going to be the younger people. I'm going to go into the studio, I'm going to make a song, song bangs, I want it on radio immediately. There's no thoughts about, okay, cool, do I want to distribute it or any of these particular things. Even as a producer, especially producers, session musicians, like, I'm just trying to play the guitar, I'm just like, I'm cool, the song's amazing, and then they kind of go their own way. They don't really know, just based on maybe lack of resources or rather access to it, that there is a way that you can do this if you want to make something out of it.
That detachment is where I think the business behind music becomes a big thing. Because I won't lie, I feel like corporates are sitting watching creators create, making the most amount of money, and
Which corporate?
Yeah. So what's about
Which
to say.
ones?
Hey, they're not watching at all, brother.
We need to be specific.
To be honest, I look at South Africa, and again, South Africa in particular is being watched the most right now for me because of my piano. Now, and it's almost like when you go to the club, for example, Uchala determines the music that's playing, right? So hip hop for a second was the go-to thing, right? I won't mention brands, but you have an activation year, Kasil, or you know what I mean? I'm trying not to, but as soon as they moved away from it, in my opinion, Amapiano died. And now the focus, not Amapiano, pardon me, hip hop died. And now everything is being pumped into Amapiano. And hip hop is dying. You've been to the club lately?
Yeah, no, it's hip hop
yeah.
for 10 seconds.
I'm sorry, Slick, bro, but you
Hey, man.
you know what I mean? And you're speaking about how you gotta be you and still create. Have you not asked yourself, should I not make Amapiano?
No.
You said that with conviction.
But I work with a dance artist, well, Afro-tech dance artist, and it's also a totally different conversation. So as I said, it all starts with the branding. So the artist had started as a dance artist 10 years ago, kind of fell off, but has picked up again as a dance artist and is reinventing herself with the same brand, but just reinvention.
Yeah.
Reinvention?
So, pop music is popular music, right? And the popular music of the world right now is Africans, right?
Africans in general.
Yes.
Even big labels overseas right now, they said, stop looking at the hip hop guys, just go to Africa quickly, go fetch all of them, right? Because that's the popular music right now, you know what I mean? Hip hop overseas hasn't had a #1 on Billboard the whole year.
So this is a global thing, it's not just South
So
Africa.
globally, hip hop is suffering. Why? It's monotonous. It lacks creativity. I could say in hip hop maybe it's being reinvented by women right now.
Being reinvented by a woman.
I
Facts.
agree with that.
Elaborate on that.
Yo,
You
bro,
agree with it?
I played Lotto and I had 100 guys rapping the verse in front of me.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, where the girls at?
Internationally, like a lot of female hip hop artists are making the moves. They've got the hit singles.
They cool right
And
now. It's popular.
Exactly.
Like,
and
it's-
as he
it's-
said,
it's nice
even
to
guys
listen
are
to.
just singing, I'm a bad,
Yeah.
Yeah, I found myself there.
Yeah, because it knocks. And I think the reinvention of
It
hip
does
hop
knock.
coming from women is because I think they just chose not to care. Like, obviously, over the years, it's like it might have either been intimidated or not really feeling like you could form a part of that community.
Yeah.
Because if you take a look at hip hop, whether it's local or international, one person, and you don't even have to be a fan, but one person would immediately think that, well, in recent times, I think most popular would be like a Nicki Minaj, not taking back to like Queen Latifah and like all the people back in the day.
Yeah.
But the person that you can say birthed the kind of hip hop ladies right now is Nicki, because she's just like, it's either you care or you don't, but try not to care. Get in the studio, do whatever it is that you're gonna do.
And
I
in
think
her era, she
yeah.
was the only
So I think that's the
woman
attitude.
pushing hip hop.
And saying what she wants to say,
Yeah.
the way she wants to say it.
it's an attitude thing. You just have to not care. Like, who cares whether Jay-Z likes your song or not? Get in the studio. If it knocks, it knocks. And that's why we have people like Ice Spice today.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about sex appeal? I feel like sex appeal is like one of the reasons why the ladies are dominating. Like as
Okay,
a
bro, so,
chica, you can't Uncle
Okay,
Waffles.
so yes,
You can't Uncle
I
Waffles.
hear you.
Yeah, I'm told.
I hear you, but just to move away from that, it's like there's fun in their music, like they're having fun.
Exactly.
A lot of, you can hear it in the song. So songs about energy, right? So you were saying like earlier, like you're an artist, you want to make it, right? The energy that you put into the song in the studio, we can hear as as the audience. I know people don't maybe really know that, but it's what is actually really happening in your life.
We can
you bump
hear,
a song
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're feeling some energy that you felt that they put into the song when they were making the song.
Also, you
or
want to feel
whatever.
good. You actually
Yeah, like-
want to, and they saying all the good things, all the things that make you feel empowered and good, especially for women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you guys vision South Africa moving forward, right? You guys are people working within the industry. Right now, what's hot is Amapiano. You were very sure about the fact that you would never move into that.
Oh yeah.
Where do you see pop culture going to, or popular music?
So I wouldn't do piano per se.
Why?
But I've always done kwaito. And in my opinion, my piano is kwaito. I won't go that far into the dance of my piano, but I will do like an Afro kwaito. You get me?
Like a blend that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, the BPMs of like a Do Like I Do or like, Do Like I Do and Yeah, the same BPM. You know what I mean?
What is a BPM for someone who has no idea?
Beats
what
per
that is?
minute.
Okay, break that down.
Right, so the tempo, the speed of, the speed of the music is the same, right? So there is probably now gonna be a niche for that, right? In the future, maybe, because I do feel like also the African artists have hopped onto this wave because it's a wave, right? But if it could be slowed down to what they're used to, because they're used to Afro like in a certain other BPM, right? So if you can adjust and mold it to that, right?
Make it make sense.
It might be a new pop in kwaito, on mapiano or whatever, right? Or hip hop, or whatever you want to call it, but it's popular music, right?
It's quite weird that you say that, because when you say kwaito, I'm thinking of the fact that Uzola is a kwaito artist, but is he not a hip hop? It's the same thing.
Okay.
Right?
Toss bricks.
It's hip hop, but it's kwaito.
No, it's not hip hop. It's kwaito. Toss bricks.
Toss is definitely kwaito, I would say.
Bricks.
Even Amaroto is kwaito.
You get me? Like
Amaroto's kwaito.
Yes,
yeah, it is.
it is.
It's not a mapiano.
No.
Piano is quite.
They just
doesn't
knock on the
matter.
piano beats. Doesn't mean that they're piano bros. Those guys are kwaito. And they've told us this before, actually. They did say that they are very rooted and got a lot of their flow and identity in kwaito music.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
nice that we're able to go on a piano beat with the kind of the kwaito essence of it.
Approach.
Because I think, to your question, to bring it back, is that you just have to expose the gap, because there are a lot of gaps. So it's not to say that, okay, cool, because piano's running right now, everybody has to jump on and like, I'm a piano. If it's that I'm a piano's taking up 60% of everybody's time, there's 40% that's unaccounted for. That's the time that needs to be taken to refine the hip hop. Or even within I'm a piano, find your niche, because it's not all the same. And I understand that the bigger conversation is obviously not a lot of people are informed of why people make music. Like obviously everyone has their own story, but if we look at the demographic and the people involved in the genre of Amapiano, there's always a story as to how this came about, why things are happening so quickly, why I came to collaborate with all these big names. You'll hear a kid you've never heard before on a song with like Pori, who's like the biggest guy. So it's...
But isn't that what happened with Nige?
What do you mean?
What happened with me?
I've heard that Nige was actually a song, some guy in his backyard made it, and then
Someone
Tyler
took it.
I
and
don't know anything
Pori
about that.
jumped onto it. So that's what I've heard. I'm not sure if
Gus.
But I mean, I guess that would be to their advantage, because they're getting a platform to be marketed on a global scale. So as much, I think, we don't know. We just don't know what could have happened or what.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe he would have sat with his song still in his bedroom. We don't know. We don't
So
know.
essentially, you're saying
We don't know.
Nigga would not be
We
the
don't
hit that
know.
we all know.
But we don't know. We just will never
I'm
know.
saying that.
We just will never know.
I'm saying that.
That's
I'm
it.
saying that
I'm not
because
saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes you got to look at opportunities and the way things play out as it's the way it's supposed to happen.
it's the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Music happens a lot like that. You know what I mean? It's the way it's supposed to happen.
Someone gets played and someone.
No,
Because that's
you see, you
hear
added
me out. No, hear me out. I'm saying played, and not only to Nigga. This is a narrative that is
Okay.
ongoing within the music industry. I mean, we mentioned MT earlier on. We're mentioning Nigga now, which is a different song, different genre, different time. But it's the same thing again. Business or corporates or the people that really make money winning and the artists being left.
But we also don't know what happened to that artist, or even, as I said, I heard, So,
But
Fair
also,
enough.
here's my other thing: bros don't come like, and I guess it's maybe human error, maybe perhaps, but like you'll get into a situation and just be excited by things that you see and not ask questions like, okay, I gave you the song, so what does that mean? It's a simple question.
So the business behind.
It's a simple question.
Yeah. That goes back to what
even if
Minnie
you don't
was
know what
saying.
SAMRO is or split sheet is or any of that stuff, you just say, okay, what must happen with the song? Who owns it? Such a simple question.
It's resources.
Okay, now speaking about resources, you guys obviously sound like you know what you're talking about. Where do you gain such information? Is it a website? Is it experience? Where do you attain this kind of knowledge? Which is tricky, right?
Where do we attain that? Or are you talking about
You
like
can answer
artists?
it from a
individual.
personal perspective, but if you're someone out there tuning in right now, and you're watching, you think,
Yeah.
how do these guys know all this? Where do you attain that information? And where would you advise someone to enlighten themselves about the music industry, essentially?
I don't think it has to be as deep as like websites or anything like that. I mean, obviously there are parts that involves with like SAMRO and like that's the admin of it. But just getting to know it in general, I guess again is just having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
I know that obviously some people think they're too cool for like DMs and stuff like that, or people are just busy. I mean, it's life. But it's just asking who you think would be able to give you that piece of information. If we're in the clubs all the time, we're at Montana, we're at Nostra, whatever it is, and you might know one of the DJs on the lineup, whatever it is, okay, fine, maybe you don't want to have let's build conversations there, but say, yo, I actually have a question about this, or like you put out an album or an EP last, like you can just ask. And I know it's not that easy, like it might be intimidating to walk up to somebody and be like, this is what I need to know, but that could be the genesis of it, as opposed to like I'm gonna sit down in front of my like computer and laptop, because it's like how people get jaded via, okay, I just need to read everything and know everything before. Sometimes the conversation will lead you to where you need to be in terms of your actual question, as opposed to knowing everything. I think that's how we individually come about the information. I mean, everybody's journeys are different. I worked at a major label. I've worked, again, we worked with the same artist in the Afrotech industry, so everybody's journeys are different. So the information you also put out is different according to the type of artist and what they'd be asking. Someone that's trying to break it in Amapiano, I wouldn't give them the same piece of advice as someone trying to go into hip-hop. It's completely different. It's so different, especially with the trajectory of how we're consuming music and making it. Someone dance, Afrotech, so different.
I love
And how
the
it's
fact that you
consumed
mentioned-
worldwide, is
so
also different.
different.
I want to speak on how we're consuming music right now. TikTok or social media in general has sort of also made an impact on music. Like, if a song is hot on TikTok right now,
Yeah,
it pops. You know what I mean?
You say if not,
If your
it
song
No, if
is
it does pop, like if you got a TikTok challenge kind of song, to a certain extent,
it's debatable.
but also
It's debatable.
it's hot for the moment, and that's where I always
Exactly.
go back
Depends
to.
though.
Yes, with some
does.
artists they can ride that wave, but for some artists just a one hit wonder, where that was a TikTok song and that's it. You know, so it depends from that TikTok song what you do with it, how you
Make
now I've
most
got
of it.
exactly now I've got a
Yeah.
fan base, now I've got people listening. What do I do after? Because people relax after that.
It's definitely a tool.
It is.
It's definitely a tool. I won't lie. It's definitely a tool. Like it's it's an ace up your sleeve. You know. So if you do everything else correctly, and you use that as well, you're taking up your chances of success.
Yeah.
And something like TikTok, or they call it UGC platforms, is actually great.
User-generated.
Yes, user-generated.
Break it down,
content.
GGC. You see?
User-generated content.
People love user-generated content
yes.
made by your phone. Sorry.
So it's TikTok, for example, I would actually advocate for catalog for artists, like focus on older music that you've made and try to put that out there, because
Exactly.
it's a tried and tested thing without you having to do anything about it. So if we take a simple example of Mariah Carey, Christmas is coming. So we know that All I Want for Christmas is going to climb, but she doesn't really have to do anything. She's just like dusting off the Santa suits and she's like, I'm ready, right? But that's
She makes millions every year, bro.
and that's catalog.
From that one
Chilling
Christmas
too,
song.
yeah.
That's,
December.
Exactly. exactly, that's catalog. That's a song she made years ago. When the Ocean Gate thing happened, it was obviously a troll thing, but people started listening to Celine Dion again because of people using that TikTok sound of the Celine Dion's. That's catalog. That's your old stuff. So instead of trying to introduce a dance challenge to everything, as an artist, I'd go back and say, listen, when last did somebody actually hear the song? Nostalgia is a big thing on TikTok. Huge. That's why we have now Tonga Amapiano coming up, because now grandparents know the lyrics to these songs. So depending on how your strategy is about, you don't have to make a dance challenge for everything. If you have catalog backing you, you can actually go back and say, when last did you guys hear the song? And then that's how you can use TikTok as a tool. Or at least that's how I would recommend it personally.
So essentially, I'm getting a sense that you're saying, as an artist, don't go into studio trying to create
A
music
TikTok
for
song.
it.
Yeah, a TikTok song.
Don't go
No.
to studio and make a
Unless that's
TikTok
what you
song.
wanna do.
It needs to be organic.
Unless that's what you're trying to do. Like, unless that's really what your vibe is for that particular song, then...
I guess, yeah.
Because some people do that. They're just
Yeah.
like, you know what, I just wanted to run on TikTok. I want the kids to relate to it.
And that's
Cool.
it.
Easy. Pow. It's crazy because it's the pop conversation and popular music and popular, the thing that's hot, right? And it kind of feels like it pulls it away from the artistic side of it. Of
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Actually creating and making a work of art.
Well, indie is, it's growing, but it's not largely consumed. And I guess indie was that real music. You know?
Real, yeah, and I'm glad you say real, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But
authentic,
I mean, everything's fast foods these days, you know.
Yeah.
So real music is only for people who go looking for it. Otherwise, we just take everything that we're like shown, and we just consume that. It's quick to consume. She likes it, you like it, you like it, so I like it too. I can't be left behind. It's the trend.
And I like what he's saying, because as a major hip-hop fan, I'll still go look for like hip-hop artists who are still releasing right now, whether they're on the charts or not, because that's my preference. But if I know they're not on the radio, no, they're not on the charts, they're not on social media, not everyone's talking about them, but I'll go find them.
You know, with that, I find myself always struggling to answer the question, what kind of music do you listen to? Because as a radio person, like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have the option to really have a taste, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like musically, it's all about what's hot, man. Hip hop or it's all about what's hot. And within an hour, for example, with radio you have, let's say 30 songs that play within an hour. Of those songs that play, there's one that's going to be high rotation. High rotation means it's on repeat over and over and over again.
Because it's popular.
Because it's popular.
Yeah.
But also, are we not making it popular?
You are.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no space for new music to sort of pop out. On a primetime show, for example, you will have songs that will never play. Right? But you will
Whether or
have,
not it's good.
whether or not it's good, do you get me? It'll never play. But you have a song that'll play 4 times within one show. You
Just
know?
a quick question for you, since you're on radio. What makes a song, is it popular because it's on social media, everyone's talking about it, or you guys genuinely just like it? What makes it rotate so much?
They'll say the streets, but
It's the music compilers.
it's one it's one person deciding if
Let's
I'm gonna
not-
play it
let's not
or
act.
not. And look, I'm gonna speak frank. It's not to say it's the particular station I'm with. Essentially, it's one person deciding if yebo no matza.
Yeah.
And I feel like it should be a team, and a team of people who are active, like actively in the streets, and people who aren't. Like, just have at least 3 different types of people and like characters, and like let them decide, not one person. You know what I mean? But it's things like that that's like killing the music industry. You know what I mean? But anyway,
I think right now, one thing that we can explore in the music industry is the lack of people knowing how to play their role, whatever your role is. So obviously music industry or the business behind it is very broad. you know, there's record labels, there's radio stations, there's, you know, artist management and all of these things. But everybody has a role to play to either develop an artist or introduce an artist or level up an artist. And you know, people forget that, well, you know, roles come with responsibilities and it has to be serving to an interest at the end of the day. So we can have our opinions to be like, yo, actually, and you're right, it doesn't make sense that with radio stations, there's one compiler, and if that bro feels like playing Blackie today, that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And I love Blackie, honestly, like that's my #1 guy. But yeah, I agree. Maybe it should be a team, but let that role be played like that and understand that it has to serve the interest of the radio station. We're going to play the hottest song because we want the people to tune in. Like, that's the entire point. So coming onto management teams and record labels as well, because I understand right now, well, not right now, but a couple years back, everybody watched Straight Outta Compton and they were like, whoa, I'm never going to sign a contract with the major again. And I'm just like, wait. That's really not how it goes. You know, you guys need to read. But everybody has a role to play. And we have a lack of that right now. You know, everybody's obsessed with having these enormous teams, but it's just like, what role is everybody playing to develop you as an artist? Because now you come looking for answers from the wrong people. That's not my role.
Another thing, your friend
That's not
can't be
me.
your manager.
Like,
You can't be like, yo,
I even got goosebumps, look.
I'm not going to speak on that.
unless like they've actually got the expertise and they know what they're doing. But like if you guys grew up together, he likes your music.
You and BGs, you pop, all of a sudden, I'm
That
a
person
manager.
does not have the skill to be a manager. That person cannot put you in a room. That person cannot grow your brand. That person cannot give you a vision.
Damn!
You the one.
So where do I find these people though, bro?
That person will just be person will just be a glorified PA, because you hot, right?
And they next
you
to you.
hot, and they're answering all your calls and they're answering all your emails and they're taking all your meetings for you.
You want a rebuttal?
Yes, these guys have to say. I can see it.
No,
Let it out.
I don't want to rebuttal because I have an understanding and they're right. But I think everything, we started this whole thing by saying it depends, right? So I agree on the fact that yes, you know, childhood friend with boys for life, you might not be able to put me in the room, right? But when you're starting out as an artist, that's another thing. Like, it's so expensive to be an artist. It's expensive to make music and, you know, kind of get started. So if the guy next to you, your friend, is who you have right now, put him in a position to upskill him a bit. If it's like, yo, you good at Excel, you're going to do my label copies to submit my music to the label. That's what I'm saying. Like, people need to play their roles. And what's happening right now is, and you're right in saying that the best friend must now play every role. They must attend your label meetings if you're signed to one. They must also answer promoters at Konka. They must also do writers. And it's just like, no, if you can, break it up. But I don't think it's impossible to take the people closest to you. If you put them in a position to say, because you're good at this, please can you do this? But they can't be your manager if they're not a guy that knows you know, the lays of the land, gift of the gab. They're not going to put you in the room.
I must now draw the line between best friend and now manager and know my role, which is actually
like
something
literally
I agree
play
with.
your role, and if you like, if he's your guy like that, like
He will
upskill
also-
him.
yeah.
Like, he'll also want to be like, hey, you know what, I can help you with this. And as an artist starting out, that's really what you need. You don't need a team of like 5 people and 3 people must answer the phone when there's bookings. Relax. Where is your documents to actually release the song?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here?
Can we have a chat about how there's this conversation? You said Straight Outta Compton, everyone now is saying they're never gonna sign, right?
Yes.
The difference between going independent or solo and actually signing a deal. How would you break that down for someone and how to decide to do that, right? If I'm an artist right now, I know I got a hot track. How do I go about deciding if I want to go independent or I'm trying to get signed? I've got this hot song. I've got this beat. How would you go about maneuvering that?
What do you want? What are your goals?
What do you
What
want?
do you want? What are your goals? What do you want? What are your goals? And you must see it for at least 3 years, at least. And then that will help you decide where you want to go.
So are you independent or you signed?
I'm independent, but I
Why?
came from being signed.
Okay.
I signed because I didn't have the money,
So you had to do
but I had the vision, not the money, right? And then I said, no, let me get to a level where I don't need your money and you, but then I can sustain myself. So now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, cool, I don't need to sign, but I can still be an artist. I can still shoot, be in studio, da-da-da. I can employ people to do PR. I can employ people to do this. I can employ someone to go do my, you know what I mean? So it's experience. So again, it's by design. Like, what do you want?
How's the check different since then? And I mean, I'm not trying to...
I guess that's irrelevant.
I kind of want to ask, hear me out. I know that's a direct, but here's the thing, right? The idea of going independent is that when you're independent, it's almost like your own.
But also independent goes with hard work, bro.
Yeah.
Like, are you a hard worker? Like, do you have an appetite for work? Can you think for yourself? Do you need people to push you, or can you push yourself?
Okay, okay.
Who's your team? Who's behind you?
Exactly.
Who's working with you? Who's holding your hand?
Yeah.
Who's coaching you? Who's advising you?
Independent also goes two ways. So you could be somebody that's independent in the beginning, based on the fact that, look, I've got the resources, I've got the team, I've got the money, I can punt this myself. I'm only signing because I'm trying to further this thing. So maybe you're trying to grow your market. Maybe you've clocked South Africa, you're like, no, you know what? I'm trying to penetrate Africa. That is the one way you can go independent. The other one is the one that he's describing, where it's like, I was signed, now I'm independent because I'm good now. I've kind of figured out the system, and I'm okay to understand that, you know, I can better sustain my career independently. Because a lot of people think that, like, you must just throw your whole life into it. You might be somebody that just has one song, and you're just like, you know what, this one song, if I can get to West Africa, I'm happy. And then you continue on about your way. You yourself, it doesn't have to be that now you've signed, your life is 360'd for, like, you
Forever,
know, a cell phone contract term.
I ask about the check because independent has a sense of, now I own this thing. Do you get what I mean? As opposed to when you're signed, and this is my perception, I could be wrong. When you sign, it's almost like isalar. You go do this,
It depends.
we'll
It
have
depends.
it.
It
Break
depends.
it down, please.
So you can sign and have a vision of, you know, okay, cool. Now let's say, okay, cool. Now I'm indie. Like she's saying, you wanna go abroad now.
Yeah.
I would, me personally, sign with maybe a Europe label or an American label. If they say da 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 da, and I say, I can grow here, I'd do it. You know what I mean? That's the only way I'd do it. But for anybody else, like if you have one song or whatever, like sign, you know, because also you can have 100% of your product, right? But you can't sell it.
Yeah.
So you're not making money from it. You know what I mean? Or you can have this product and you can go sign and they can help you, you know, sell this product and you can make
get
some
it out
money.
there.
Because there's other ways to make money except from direct music sales.
Yes.
Now maybe the song's big, now you're getting gigs, now you're getting endorsements,
sync deals.
You know what I mean? After 10 years, you can get your master bag if you distribute it. If you gave it away forever, ish.
Yeah,
What
you
are
still get
masters?
a portion of
What
it.
are masters? Can
It's
Like that
ownership.
word is
It's
doing
IP. It's ownership.
Before we get to even masters, and I think Mbali, you can go. Like, I just want to stress, it's maths. 100% of nothing is nothing, and that's what people need to understand. We're not gonna push you to give your whole life, but like exactly what he's explaining is that yes, there's masters, there's different deals you can sign, different distributions, but you're trying to sit on top of everything. 100% of nothing is nothing. So you can be individual and you can own your stuff and you can beat your chest about the fact that you own your masters, which is amazing. But like, okay, so what's the plan in order to make money from these masters? Because you've spent money making these masters. So that's what also needs to inform your plan is that, listen, I can have all these bangers, but 100% of nothing is nothing. People that own their masters are past bangers. You know, if Ciara owns 100% of old, that's a banger.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. You know, we had a run with that.
Yeah.
But if she's going to make a song now and sit on it because I want to own 100% of it, okay, swag, that's cool. Like, you keep it on the computer.
You wanted to say something?
No, she actually said it.
She said it all.
said it.
All right, can you guys break down for people why it is important to register a song, a sample? Please. Why is it important to register a song at sample?
Like anything.
To make money. See, like they're saying, 100% of
even
nothing.
make money.
You don't want it to be 100% of nothing. You know what I mean? So if Samro collects from radio and other stuff, I just really forgot what the other stuff were. But more importantly, it is radio and like places where your song plays, Mr. Price,
Places-
airports,
yeah,
whatever. If your song is just playing out there somewhere, right? and they help collect that money for you.
Okay.
Samro, right?
Which is why, okay, yeah.
But I mean, to get to Samro, you're gonna need an ID for the song.
Yeah.
Like you have an ID on your thing. Every song has an ID. You get an ID at RISA. You know? And then RISA, also, wherever your song is played, on DSPs or whatever, they'll collect the money for you. So there's two places for you to collect money. You can collect from RISA if you own the master, or if you share it with the label, you can still collect a little bit. Samro's all US publishing.
It's all US publishing.
It's publishing, it's called publishing. So I don't think really your label gets...
No, they don't.
No, I think we just heard you wrong.
Publishing.
Just publishing.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Not you.
fun fact, I know a brewer who got $1 million this other year from Samro for like 2 years of great radio.
I'm listening, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, so that's one avenue. So if you made that from radio, what did you make from sales?
And every other avenue.
What did you make from
Yeah,
gigs?
Exactly.
You know, so it's important to align all your stuff. So if you're just a kid and you just say, yo, my song's out, you have no ID for your song. If radio wants to pick it up, they can't pick it up. There's no ID for your song. They don't know where to send this money.
But also, talking on revenue, as an artist, people don't also explore other ways of making money or other platforms or avenues. So as an artist, you're hard, everyone wants you. There's brand partnerships, there's endorsements, there's people, and unfortunately, you can only get to the stage once you're hard or once you've made a big name for yourself. But that's definitely a different way of making revenue, of making money out here, because brands want to jump on what's hot. You're hot on exactly. You're hot on the streets right now. We want to be aligned with that. We want to partner up with that person. You know, what that looks like is between you and your manager, but that's also a different way of making revenue and actually putting yourself out there and growing your brand as well.
Look, just to wrap the conversation up, one thing I feel like artists also need advice on is signing on that dotted line. You know what I mean? You see that sign already? Just to close things off, and from each of you, please, 2 things that you need to look out for as an artist before you sign on that dotted line. Because I mean, if I was an artist and I'm getting an offer, I'm already seeing my name in lights, you know? What are 2 things that you would say, yo, heads up, paswapa ngadide, because it will result to this?
Not gonna say much, but as an artist, I just think longevity, because they might be offering all roses and flowers and sunshines now, but in the next 5 years, how are we growing together? Where you guys taking me? Where do you guys want to take me? Where do you guys want to see me grow? And I don't think that's often the question that's asked or something that's looked at, because right now, if I see $1 million and it's all good right now, I'm about to sign it.
You just want to take it, yeah.
You know, in the 5 years, even with your hard work, you also have to put in the hard work, but the people who are backing you up, how are we growing together?
You want to touch on that? And please also maybe speak about E360. There's this thing called the 360.
I'm not going to speak on that. I think what I would say, and the first thing is going to be harsh, but it's needed because now in the industry we're kind of working backwards. There's too many incidences where people are coming out to say, this is my song, I didn't sign this, and like we're working backwards now. So the first thing I would say is don't be naive. If you hear the word business, it's like any other business, right? There is an interest that needs to be served. So don't be naive when you see like a stack or piece of paper, whatever it is. I understand not everybody can know the terminology of contracts and like all of these things, but you know, the first thing I'd say is do not be naive. There's no such thing as a free ride in life ever. The only free ride you get is your parents because they're mandated to do that. But as soon as you step out into the world, in whatever environmental ecosystem that you participate in, there's no free ride. You know, you go buy your groceries at Woolies and you pay for it. Nothing is for mahala. Don't be naive. You know, try and just take a step back, take a breather. You know, take some time with it, right?
If you have to.
Don't let the lights hit you too quickly.
Don't look at the Hollywood sign. You know, just don't be naive. Take a step back, take a little bit of time. And if your song or your product is as good as you believe it to be, it's not going to die down based off you taking 3 more days to read the contract, right? That's the first thing I would say. And the second thing I would say is very simple. You know what you want, right? Or we're hoping you know what you want. If it's not what you want, don't sign it. You know what you want. If it's not stating your terms, so if you're saying, I want Nando's quarter chicken every single day, and that's not there, don't sign it. Exactly. I think it's not what you want. Because it's very hard to then come back as a victim after the fact. They're going to look at you like, how, but bro,
you signed.
But we gave you the,
agreed
like, what
to
do you
it.
mean?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, if you believe in your stuff as much as you do, it's not, nothing is going to change within the 3 days you can take to take a breather. And also understand it to be what you want. If it's not what you want, don't sign it. Speak to people, do whatever it takes until it gets to what you want or close enough. Nothing will ever be 100% of what you want, but close enough. Like, okay, cool, you guys met 3 out of my 5 terms, I'm happy to sign.
You dodged the question about the 360. I'm gonna throw it to you. Only because from indie, also I think you're perfect because from indie, from being signed to indie, what is a 360? What do people need to look out for?
I'm gonna go on the 2 things first.
Okay.
So the first thing I would say is just look at the years. You know, because they can say, okay, cool, only give us 2 albums. Then you think, 2, okay, I have 1 now. I can give you another one next year. Ne? But you actually tied in for like 10 years. So they're going to be making money from that album for 10 years. Even if you signed and you left and you want a new deal or whatever, they're still marketing it for 10 years. You know what I mean? And you have to ask yourself, like, do those years make sense to you? Yeah. You know, because I know they never make sense to me. But because now you have to ask yourself, after 5, 10 years, can I still sell this product? Because what if now they've milked all the juice from it? Now you made the first 10 million in the first 10 years, and in the next 5 years, you only want to make 200,000 from it. You don't know. So just check the years. Check the years, right? Another thing I'd say is like maybe check the marketing budget.
Yeah, that's a real
Marketing budget.
Because don't forget why you're there. You know what I mean? You're there for them to market you, right? So ask about the marketing budget and be very precise. Like, okay, how much you gonna put on Facebook? Okay, how much are you going to? Okay, I want a billboard. Can you? Okay, I want. Can you? Because I mean, you're there to be marketed, so you better make sure.
Let's close it off with the 360 thing, bro.
Hey, you want to close it off? No, for bro. Fine. It's a 360. I'll explain the 360. A 360 is you are signing everything away. Right. Cool. So, you coming as a talent, right? And then they saying to you, we're going to pay for everything. We're going to pay to make the song. We're going to pay the producer. We're going to pay the artwork. We're going to pay the music video. We're going to pay the promotion. We're paying everything. If we want to make a show for you, we'll pay for it. Like, we'll pay for everything, right? But just know that as soon as that song makes money, it's all going back. And even if they've covered the costs, and they cost only 500,000, but now they've made 10 million, it's not their problem. I get it, you didn't have to...
The wages.
Yeah, but so it's a thing going in. You must know, I'm giving everything away. Except your publishing. You'll still get your Samro. Maybe you'll get
Are there advantages to that? Because...
It depends. Everyone is... It depends. It's design, bro. It's design. Like, it depends what you want.
He's right. It really does depend. It might also, based on the artist and also maybe based on their career trajectory, like where you are in your career. If you're someone that's maybe been in the industry 10 to 15 years, you're not someone that you'd probably consider for a 360, right? And remember, like, it's like life is long. As much as it's short, you know, especially shame in our industry, as much as it's short, it's also long. So you might have had a 360 deal with a certain label or whatever the case is for 5 years or 10 years, whatever. And now you're 30 and you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna hop on over somewhere else and sign a different type of deal. It just depends at that particular stage when you come in as a musician, you know, coming in and presenting a product, is this gonna be beneficial? You might have like a 3-year to 5-year plan, you're ready. You know that you want to show here, and 360 really does pay for everything. If you're trying to hop on a flight because you've got a show in Cape Town they'll pay for that. So it's beneficial, but it all comes back to knowing what do you want.
Exactly.
If that's what you're trying to do with your career, then sign the 360. If not, again, take a breather and ask, according to what I want to do. Yeah. Take a breather first and then be like, okay, cool, maybe I don't want that, but something close enough.
Yeah.
What can you give me? But it's all about where you are in your career. It happens mostly to people at the very beginning, very Genesis. Like, I found out I could sing in the shower, then I sang in the school choir. Then my parents are like, no, actually, like, you can sing. Usually in those cases, it's like a 360. Whereas maybe you were on a couple of features and like those songs boomed. You're like, no, man, like, people know my voice. They've heard me before. Maybe I'll go license, you know, maybe I'll, you know, I'm not entirely brand new, you know?
Guys, thank you so much for sharing your insight and knowledge. We're going to wrap the conversation up here. If there's someone out there thinking, damn, you said something interesting or you said something interesting and they want to hit you up, tweet you, DM, we said that's a possibility. Where can people touch you on the social media?
Don't DM me. I'm joking.
Where can people get a hold of you or contact you with regards to these kind of things? And if there's any closing statements or words of advice or insight you'd like to share, this is the time. I'll start with you, man.
Yeah, again, I'm Mbalenhle Zuma, and you can reach me at Mbalenhle_is_her on IG. I don't have Facebook and Twitter. I don't do that. Yeah, just ask for my email when you get there. Let's not chat on DM. But yeah, other than that, I'm good.
Cool. I think for me, speaking on the DMs part, I guess, you can reach me on Instagram. So it's Mini Radebe, just like Mini, like the car, not like the cartoon character. And as much as I go on and on about like information, I have my own consulting practice in music where I'm actually able to help artists. So another place you can reach me, it's called Peach Consulting. Send me a DM, send me whatever it is, and it's 2 minutes of the day. So.
Broski?
Guys, go to Peach. Okay, but it's slick, SLIQE. You can DM me. I do respond, but I'm actually responding a lot, more than I should.
Good for you.
But yeah, you just
Goes down in the DM.
make it worse.
Hack Season 2, hopefully this conversation was insightful, and if you are a musician or just a creative in general, you pick something up. I'm the one named Tulz Madala. Hack Season 20, Danke, Siabo.
I never switch sides.